What's up? Um, so thanks a lot to the people that have been looking at my videos and commenting. I noticed a couple people were asking for the build for that one video. So I guess I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail. This is the basic build, uh, and then I'll go into the second perks one by one, I guess. Let's see. So this one um, is kind of really important for my ult and the build altogether because I need to be able to count on that second or 20% chance of double damage and Way of the Flame. So um, this version of the build only has one slot dedicated to melee damage, and it's stacked with ultimate damage, which is good. And then Way of the Flame is important because I have Fire Master and status effect damage, and so that um, plays into the overall damage output every time I use my ult, of course, and when I use the black powder bombs. Um, so Windmaster, the second perk, there's really not a lot that I could choose that would be of use to me. I don't really like water. I love stone, but I wish it could be stone master because stone is just too slow by itself. And don't really have a use for burning blade or poison blade. Um, maybe poison blade sometime. Yeah, maybe. Actually, if I had like a different build that where I was using that new tech Nightshade, then I might have a use for poison blade. But for the time being, I just like to be able to kick people. It's useful when you have, for example, an objective like inside the circle and you have enemies that won't go inside. You can just kick them into place. And this one, Windmaster, has increased stagger damage and causes knockdown, which is pretty useful a lot of times because um, you might get overwhelmed, and then you at least can get some room and get a little bit of space for you to reassess and then you know deal with the wave or whatever. If you're like by yourself defending the point and you're overwhelmed, then that might give you a little bit of breathing room. I actually do like kicking people a lot. My only hang up with this stance is that the heavy attack with triangle is really slow. But as I mentioned on a previous build video before, yeah, when talking about this, um, I had to. The only way that I could make this stance work is by learning dash animation cancel, which I have to thank Joey Dominguez for his videos. Like they're very helpful and just giving you a sense of how to do those animation cancels. So that was really big for me, and that's kind of what having Messerman's Edge is what makes this build kind of uh, come together and make sense for my playstyle. And then next, there's the bomb pack, status effect damage. It's going to synergize with the fire damage that you have overall. So um, that's the reason that that's there. Blast radius synergizes with the blast radius on the sticky, which we'll see in a little bit. And so that's a 50% increase on the radius for the bombs, which is really big because when you're throwing your bombs at a crowd, the more people you hit, the more resolve you gain. Um, and it's important. And then the black powder bombs are just huge, not just in terms of the damage that they do, and in terms that of like them being a ghost weapon. Concussion bombs are no longer a ghost weapon post Icky, um, but and nor is Way of the Flame um, by the way. But yeah, so black powder bombs are huge for the assassin and samurai as well. As you can see, samurai are already dominating the top of the leaderboards. So yeah, it's a huge improvement. Assassin has been able to use bombs for a while since the beginning, basically, but the black powders really make a big difference. and how you can clear a wave. It's just basically the speed. And also, it fixes a problem that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you have munitions on your assassin smoke bomb, a lot of times you just uh, you just end up getting one bomb or like maybe zero bombs or maybe two. Best case scenario, I think I got four randomly. But this fixes the issue, and then you get the regular amount of bombs that you would get if you were a Ronin. Sometimes you only get black powders, but that's okay because sometimes you're able to just chuck them away and then pick them up again. Sometimes you only get, like concussions. Usually you get a pretty good mix of both. Usually you get at least four, if not five or six, which is huge because having your smoke and just not being close to a ghost offering can make a big difference. Um, then what do we have? Okay, so my charm, status effect damage again, which synergizes with the bomb pack and the way of the flame when I use my ult. And chain vanish is just because it's useful to have that in the second slot. I guess I could have something else. Um, what would be a good use of the... If I didn't have chain vanish, I probably... Maybe I would do health increase. There's not really a lot to choose from that I could use on Nightmare. I have another charm that's like this, but it has Hysteria instead of Fire Master, and that's a lot of fun to play with, especially with Chain Vanish. Um, Resolve increase might be good. Yeah, but really, um, this is this is great if you're going with Vanish, Refresh and Vanish, because if you're really low, you can just vanish once, get a smaller enemy, get an assassination, vanish again, and you're full health. So this is pretty big. It's one of the main reasons that I have Chain Vanish, and it's also because a lot of times you just need some distance and you need to just be able to get away from a crowd um, when you're really low health and you're overwhelmed. So Chain Vanish allows for me to get at least some damage done and then step back with the second Vanish. Fire Master is important for my ult and the bombs because I use the black powders first, and then just that catches everyone on fire. So that damage is increased then, and it also synergizes with status effect damage, which I have almost at 36% with both of those slots. And then the sticky bomb has blast radius, which, like I said before, synergizes with the blast radius on the bomb pack, and so that makes the sticky itself with the increased radius. It makes it 100% radius increase. And then the status effect duration, again, fire. So status effect damage would be fall under fire, and so that's a little bit longer of a burn that they get fired up for the sticky bomb because that's what I'm going with, fire damage. It makes my sticky pretty powerful, and again helps catch enemies on fire, and it synergizes with all my overall fire damage. Smoke bomb is pretty basic. You just want to have it as often as you possibly can, and then have munitions, which is really important, like I mentioned before. So stealth attack damage, I guess I could have put cooldown or something, but that just gives me a little bit more assassination power, and I can one-shot mid-grade Mongol enemies, like the base level shield brutes. I think they're the toughest. They're like the strongest enemy that I can, or yeah, for what I can one shot, that would be the strength that I can go for. Not the elite shield brutes, the ones that are wearing more of like a regalia kind of armor. Those guys are a little bit stronger, so pretty much all the lower level Mongols I can one shot. The double sword guys, the base level shield guys, the mid-level shield guys, all the single and double swords, and then like I said, the shield brutes. Lucky is just nice because a lot of times I feel like it actually procs more often than 15% of the time, at least for me in my experience. Um, And yeah, but so stealth attack damage synergizes with my techniques as well because I have critical hit, so that's 55% more assassination damage. Um, Experienced assassin just because for nightmare and just in general, I don't like slow assassinations. So I think this actually should be the baseline for assassin, and then maybe the tech could have been faster critical hits, but yeah, they just. I feel like the assassin has kind of been neglected with this last update, and in general, it's just. I've been trying to find a way to make him stronger um, than what they allow. It seems like Samurai got a pretty big buff with the last upgrade, and then Ronin and Hunter got a bit of a nerf. But the assassin kind of was just left where he was a little bit, more or less. I get the 5 hit uh, ultimate just because that's a lot of my build is predicated on the ultimate damage. And yeah, I don't really see a need for 2 legendaries or overshadowed 3 strikes at 100% when I can get 100% increase with double damage from Masamunes often enough, I guess. And anyone that's left standing from whenever I use my, my build, whenever I approach a wave, anyone that's left standing, I can just deal with my regular ult and mess with the double damage. So I never really. I played a little bit with Deadly Nightshade. I think I need to play more with it. Uh, I've heard that I've heard some pretty good things that it's actually really significant. But for the time being, I don't think it's a viable technique for Nightmare. I'm just going for the most damage that I can do in the shortest amount of time. So, oh yeah, I was saying so for my second slot, ultimate damage 20%, and then also on the assassin charm, ultimate damage. Like I said, it synergizes with status effect damage and status effect duration and fire damage. So that's pretty much the build. It's designed to do as much. What I mean, I don't know. I guess some people are talking about going with Angel's Remorse for an additional 15% damage at full health. I'm actually currently
どの伝
working
承に惹かれますかな
on Angel's Remorse for my assassin, but I still have to level it up and see what kind of damage I can do. But yeah, let's
どの
go
伝説
into
をお聞きになりますかな始めましょ
just wave 0 and then kind of show you guys my process here, and that'll be the
う
last of
戦
this
に舞う影
video about the build. Um, it took me a while to kind of get the hang of how properties synergize and how to make a build that's effective and not waste any of the slots. That's what I see a lot with a lot of people. They kind of waste slots, and you want to make it to where everything you're using has a reason, and it usually, if possible, that
空が死を
it stacks with something else. That's what I go for. So here you just kind of want to get everyone's attention to this barrel. That sucked that he did that because whenever they
クロードにとっては危険なやつ
僕に落ちろさらばだ
whenever they blow up a barrel, it usually doesn't count for you. Alright, so that's pretty much it. You just try to get people to come to your smoke, chuck a sticky bomb, and then chuck your black powders first. Finish them off with the concussions, and then whoever's left, just finish off with your ult or your assassination or chain vanish if they're weak enough. And yeah, thanks for checking out my videos, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted about. I'm currently trying to get an all assassin speedrun team. Um, so I'll be streaming some attempts to get like a pretty high score with the assassin now that the top of the leaderboards guys were able to get 4 samurai last week at the top. So I main assassin. I would love for that to be the case for the assassin one day, but I guess we'll see. Thanks guys. Later.